Well, it finally happened. Gaijiggles added modern tanks. And because Gaiju broke my fucking Death Star replays, I spent the last week banging my face against my keyboard accumulating. I'm going to have to delay that review until the near future. However, I don't want you guys to go without a review this weekend, so I'm just going to have to make that shit up to you right now. Welcome my fellow scrublords to another Super Unicorn review. The T-90 is what happens when you take a T-72 and a T-80 and put that shit in a blender, then add ugly as fuck explosive reactive armor to that shit. It feels and plays much like a more mobile T-62 with some actual frontal fucking armor. It also might as well be a fucking gunship with how many ammo types it gets access to. You have darts, cheat FS, AG, and fucking dildos. Your vodka-infused darts will penetrate a maximum of 640mm of flat armor at 100 meters. But the crazy part about these bodkin arrows is the muzzle velocity of 1750 meters per second, making these the fastest flying projectiles in the game. Your cheat FS will penetrate 700mm of armor at all ranges, but I will get into why you should never use these in a moment. Your final ammo that's actually worth the damn is your gun-launched ATGM with 750mm of penetration, which can be supremely useful for taking out rotary wing spawn camping fucktards from half the world away. However, what are some of the disadvantages of this tank? Well, first off, you only have 3 crew members due to the use of an autoloader. This means that if an enemy gets on your flank and fires a shot center mass, they will likely kill you in one hit. The other part of the equation is that your ammo racks are set up in a ring around the base of the turret, so if the shot coming into your sight doesn't kill your crew, it's likely to simply ammo rack your dumbass for not paying attention. In addition to this, your reverse speed is practically non-existent at only 4 km an hour, meaning that getting out of trouble is nearly impossible. Now, earlier I mentioned that this thing has some actual fucking armor. Well, that's because both this and the Leopard 2A5 are the first vehicles in the game to have composite armor modeled. Against kinetic energy rounds, the T-90 has 600mm of effective frontal armor on the hull and 800mm on the turret. Combine this with the angling of your frontal hull armor as well, and you get one hell of a tough tank. Now, because these vehicles have composite armor, their values change dramatically when they are hit with ATGMs or cheat FS. On the T-90, your hull armor against each round goes up to 900mm thick and your turret goes up to 1100mm thick, meaning that you are invincible to orbit Hellfire missiles. However, your hull armor only works on flat terrain, and as soon as Leopards get shots down into your armor, they will go right through. In addition to this, and true to form, you only have 4 degrees of gun depression, so finding a spot to go hell down is going to be difficult. So in short terms, if you want to do well in this tank, point your plutonium riot shield at the enemy in charge, since the KGB will shoot you if you don't. The Leopard 2A5 is part of the modern day tanks April Fool's event, and is, fun fact, one of my favorite tanks of all time. Much like the Leopards that have come before it, the Leopard 2 is fast as hell, and is probably making Slick B have wet dreams just thinking about it. While not as initially capable as the T-90 in a heads-up fight, the Leopard 2 has plenty of advantages of its own in terms of turret armor and overall mobility. Now, the Leopard 2's hull armor, while effectively 500mm thick, its composite crap still won't stop a T-90's vodka-infused darts. However, your super dense crap darts have around 690mm of penetration, and even at 1000 meters you can still penetrate 680mm of vertical plate. In other words, the only thing you can't penetrate with this round is the T-90's frontal plate, but this can be rectified if you fire down into it. You are also equipped with a cheat FS round, but this is only useful against SBAA and helicopters. So stop fucking spamming it against tanks, you complete idiots. Especially with the amount of armor this vehicle has against each, you can forget going through the turret armor. However, the hull armor is vulnerable to both kinetic energy and heat rounds, so keep that in mind. If you plan on brawling with this vehicle, it wouldn't be a Leopard 2 however, if it wasn't fast as fuck, and it certainly is. With a top speed of 77 km per hour, you are looking at a tank that literally runs faster than Turkish refugees fleeing to Germany. In RB you will generally manage around 45 to 50 km per hour, and your acceleration is really good as well. It is also capable of reversing at a maximum speed of 31 km per hour, so you can literally outrun a retreating Frenchman in reverse. However, its weaker armor is the only thing that lets it down. The front of the turret is well protected except for one small flat plate below the gunner's sight. Also, rounds of matching your top turret armor on the tank's left hand side will generally penetrate and detonate the turret bustle ammo racks. So keep that in mind when going hell down. So what is better? Well, the Leopard 2A5 is better at flanking and capping, while the T-90 is better in a heads-up fight due to its strong frontal armor and large variety of ammo types. The Leopard 2A5's hull armor, while amazing, is simply not up to the same standard as the T-90 and will get easily fucked over by both T-90s and other Leopards alike. It really comes down to your playstyle and your aim. You don't need to unlock any crew skills or modifications for any of these vehicles, as everything is spaded and maximumed out, so everyone is just as retarded. Also, as this is simply a test event, gaijiggles letting literally anybody who can point and click a mouse or mindlessly handle a controller to play in this event. Also, for those of you aircraft players who want to try out the helicopters, my best advice is to use SBAA and capture objectives. This way you can benefit your team, earn spawn points, and get to try out your rotary wing dildo launchers with a minimal loss of brain cells. So there you have them, the T-90 and the Leopard 2A5. Now get out there and play this shit before it ends on the 2nd of April.